Hi everyone. Thank you for joining us. Mark Loveys of Datagate Telecom Billing, and today we have John Bascom with us from Charleston Telecom. And good to see you again, John. Thank you for joining us today. Um, I wonder if we could start off. You could just telling us a little bit about Charleston Telecom and the type of services that you offer. Uh, and yeah, thanks for joining us. Thank you.
So Charleston Telecom Solutions, we are a hosted voice over IP provider in the South Carolina market. We have been around since 2011. We have not outside of the market. We do have customers in multiple states. Some of our largest ones are in Pennsylvania. We have some in Texas, but primarily it's the South Carolina market. Our primary services that we sell right now are predominantly voice over IP, hosted voice over IP through SkySwitch. That's our core business, and on top of that, we also do the usual data wiring and other managed network services.
Excellent. Yeah, I know you and I have caught up a few times at the SkySwitch conferences, and it was very interesting to hear what you're up to at Charleston Telecom. You always strike me as ahead of the curve, and very innovative business, and we're always pleased to catch up with you. And I know that just for the interest of our listeners too, that you're using as well as the SkySwitch services. You've got alternative payments, AutoTask, QuickBooks Online, Quota, CCH SureTax, and of course Datagate. And so is that solution stack, is that keeping up with your needs? Is it generally working well for you?
Yes, it is. We're in a position now where we're trying to eliminate as much manual work in the whole customer flow as possible. So like everything right now is really talking to itself very well. So we're able to not have to manually or double enter things in that we in the past we had. So we're pretty happy with our workflow right now.
Excellent. And on the subject of automation and workflow, what's Charleston Telecom doing with artificial intelligence these days? What's happening in that world?
So we've developed our own in-house platform called Alceo, and it is primarily does voice agent conversations with customers. So when a customer calls in, it's able to talk to them in natural language, like a natural language interface, and it can, based on the customer's needs and the systems that they have, we can handle the calls, either working directly with their systems or have it alert them in different ways, like collect data and do other things that they want to do with it.
Wow, that's impressive. And so, how long have you been offering these services, AI services?
Well, we initially launched the product in March. Our launch customer was primarily a after hours agent. So it answers the calls for people calling in at all times of the night, and it figures out what they're calling about and follows a set of rules to get the call to the right on-call person, or if it's less urgent, it sends it off to different people to get the next business day. So it's able to triage calls in the middle of the night without any people having to do that part.
Wow. And so how do you train it or teach it to who it should transfer calls to, and is that a natural language teaching process as well, or how do you do that?
Well, primarily our system we have is neutral to any model that you have. So right now we're hooked into a couple of different providers, like OpenAI is one. We also are hooked into one called DeepGram, and they manage they manage the speech to text, text to speech, and the LLM it hooks up to. So primarily when this is all being set up, you essentially just give it a prompt and say, here's how you need to answer calls. These are the reasons why people call. and don't do this, talk, talk in a natural, talk slowly or compassionately or whatever reason, whatever things you want that to how you want it to behave. You just tell it how to behave. Say, look, we want certain people to get an email, send an email to this person, and do this, and it just has a list of kind of functions or tools that it's able to use, and you tell it what the functions do, and then it just uses the functions and tools in the way you describe, and it generally works very well.
Wow, that's great. And how have you found this in terms of popularity with your customer base? Have your customers been taking this up?
We've had a lot of interest, some pretty strong interest in it. Some of the we're in the middle of onboarding a couple of them right now, and they're all at various stages of development, or we're waiting on a line to be ported over or something. So it's in some stage there. So we do have there's a lot of interest in it on our customers.
Excellent. And do you find that once the system's set up, there's much fine tuning? Do your customers ask for any sort of personalizations or refinements, that type of thing?
Yes, there's actually quite a lot of fine tuning. There's a million edge cases, and callers will find them. You think, okay, yeah, getting it working 95-98% of the time is the easy part. It's that those edge cases and how somebody asks for something very, very specific, and there's just no rule for what to do in that particular case. I mean, most of the prompts are very general. It's a very general prompt as how to handle certain things. But for example, we have a customer that they are a salon, and they have people book services through the salon through the AI, and it's designed basically so that the caller calls in, it uses their phone number as an identifier, and then in their system, and then they can book an appointment. But there's like an edge case, like what happens if they call in and want to book something for their child or to book something for somebody else? It has to know exactly what to do in those type of edge case scenarios. So
yes.
that was a particular edge case that I fixed. We had it happen a couple of weeks ago, and we're able to sort it out. But for the most part, like as long as the system can gracefully fall back and say, I can't figure this out, let me get you to somebody who can, then it's generally it's kind of a learning process that creates graceful. And as long as the people that are talking on the phone don't feel like they're stuck in a loop and they can get out of it, then they're okay with the process.
Right, very interesting. Have you had any surprises, anything unusual come out of this work with AI that's impressed you, surprised you?
Yeah, there actually. I'm actually very much surprised as to how quickly people talk to it as if it's a real person. To me, that's a big surprise. Some people, there's a certain percentage of people that they know right away. They know right away. But then there's some people that they just don't. The technology is so new to them. They've never interacted with with an AI. They've only ever dealt with like an old school IVR where it only can handle very simple questions like you say support or service or help or agent, and they people who deal with that, when they make that migration to something that they can have a full conversation with, they very quickly start adapting to that. But especially older people, they very, very easily adapt to it. And one of our customers is in home healthcare, and the older people that call in are able to talk to it naturally, and that's when it works the best.
Interesting. Have you found that offering this AI service has got you and Charleston Telecom involved in discussions and areas of the business that you wouldn't have previously been involved in?
Yes, absolutely. We're working more and more with trying to integrate our services into the customer's business. Whereas in the past, it was like, okay, you have the phones and the phones are just there and you answer them, and that was kind of the whole flow. Now we want to do more with we want, phone transcription, and we want screen pop-ups, and we want things that are put into their CRMs so that they can, we can have that additional stickiness with their business. And it just forge that additional relationship that otherwise we wouldn't have.
Definitely, it sounds like a much deeper relationship that would form, and I guess this would involve integration too with the AI system with their other in-house systems. And how have you found that side of the business?
So it's when we can do it, it can be very powerful. Some of the challenges we've had with that is a lot of CRMs that are more locked down. They're more they don't have an open API. There's no easy way to integrate with it, or they have exclusive agreements with other providers, big national providers like 8x8 or Ring Central. Those are the big ones that they go out there and they say, we'll work with you, and they make a business deal, and then nobody else can work with that product. So that's some of the challenges that we've had to deal with that.
Interesting, yeah. And when it comes to charging for this, what did you decide on, and what was your thought process, and how you wanted to charge for it, and how did you end up charging for AI services?
So that was something we spent a lot of time on initially, was trying to figure out just how to charge for it, because it can be very cost flexible as to how much it actually costs us per phone call. And what we settled on was a per minute. We bill per minute, but it's granularity down to the second. So if somebody's on the phone for 30 seconds, we're not billing them a whole minute. It's 30 seconds of time. So our actual time and their actual time is the same, and we bill it in bundles. And each bundle, there's like a starter, pro, enterprise packages that we came up with, and each one has a certain amount of minutes, and each minute has a per minute rate for that minute, for those minutes essentially. And above that, if they go above it, there's an overage charge, and the overage is only marginally more money than the original rate.
Yes,
but each bundle, so like the starter bundle, the cost per minute is the highest, and the enterprise is the cheapest.
I see. So a bit like selling a phone system, and yeah. And on that note, were you able to use your Datagate system and the other solutions plugged into that to handle that billing?
Yes, right now we set up a feed with Datagate, and we're sending our CDR records through that feed into Datagate, and it goes right into the items that we have and bills out the exact usage that's being used.
Excellent. So you've set it up to be a CDR based approach, similar to the phone system itself.
Yes.
Excellent. Oh, that's great. And how are your customers reacting to the value for money aspect? Are they generally happy with the service they're getting from the AI in terms of what it's costing them as well?
Yes, it's actually, in a lot of cases, it's actually saving them money. They were spending a lot more money on having a real person answer immediately. We had one customer they were paying thousands of dollars for a month for a real person to just answer the call and take notes from the call, and then send it to the on-call person. So it was just an after-hours voice that answers the call, basically, and then just sends it off to them later. And ours is a fraction of that right now.
Wow. And has there been many questions from them regarding the usage-based element of it, the time? Has that surprised anybody, or how has that been with them?
I think they haven't really mentioned any negative aspect about the price, about the time. We send them every month. They can see the usage on the bill down to the second, so that really helps keep them aware of what their usage is. They can also log into our portal at any time, and they can see the current up-to-date or up-to-minute usage that they're using. And we built on our back end, we built a billing page that we can see at a glance, like how much of their monthly plan they've used, what their estimated usage is going to be, over that limit. So we are able to keep track of and say, hey, you're gonna go over your limit. Do you want to? We can bump you up to the next plan. It's not going to cost you anything else, but that will keep them happy. To let them know that we're paying attention to that.
Yeah, and do you bill them on the same invoice that covers all their other services with Charleston Telecom?
Yes, we're using the exact same. Like we have our all of our Datagate bills are sent out on a different. We assign a day to a customer, and then they all. Every customer may have a different day, so every single day we have different bills going out. So we assign that customer to the same day as their other bill, and it's all attached on the same bill. So it's just the same bill that they were always getting, just additional line items on it.
Wow, that sounds great. And so what would be your advice to other service providers? Has this been a good experience for you? And are there any key learnings that you would share at this point?
Yeah, it's a very there's a lot involved in just getting it working in the beginning. Like getting the working product was only like 10% of the battle, really, and getting everything going, getting our first bills out, making sure that that your billing is correct. That was something that we had, we had a few issues with starting our first month of billing. Is we had to make sure that all of our billing was correct, because that's very, very important. Making sure that you're covering your costs and getting paid for what you're doing. Otherwise, you're just what are we doing here, right? But yes. Yeah, that was the hardest part, and especially with AI models, there's a lot of models out there. There's a lot of ones with different prices per minute. Some are priced per minute, some are priced per token. Don't start with a cheap model and try to make it work. You're going to waste a lot of time doing that. Start with something that's capable, and then try to work your way back. As far as like our billing is concerned, we do this. We use a CDR record, but we're also using more and more the Datagate API to generate products, because we do have a lot of other things that we've added on since we started. Some of it is we have AI agents that do SMS texting. We also have voice campaigns that integrate all with the whole thing. So some of our integrations with our customer, it will actually initiate a voice campaign to do a text-to-speech, call them. They press a DTMF button, like option 1, that connects them immediately to an AI agent. Then they can talk and like change their schedule or reschedule or cancel their schedule. But all of that TTS has to be accounted for. All the tokens have to be accounted for. And then we're also doing some geocoding of contacts. That all has to be accounted for. And so we're just creating bespoke products with our billing portal right into Datagate through the API, and then just populating them throughout the month. And then after the month is over, or after the billing period is over, closes that down, and it generates a new one in the next month. So it just upserts that product the whole time with additional tokens or additional SMS numbers. Let's say it sent out 20,000 SMS messages. We may want to keep track of all that.
Yeah, well, that's a great use of the technology, and awesome to hear you using the Datagate API like that. That's fantastic. Well, I have to congratulate you, John, and Charleston Telecom. You lead the charge, and this is sounds like a great application of artificial intelligence, and it's obviously very popular with your customers, and you've solved the issues of making it commercializing it, and so congratulations, and thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate hearing your story. Thank you.
Thank you.